The number is too big.
Yeah,
Nobody understands it anymore.
We have been talking about the whole debt ceiling being passed. Kevin McCarthy did his thing. I know a lot of people are calling him a rhino at the moment, and I'm steadily trying to understand how this all works out, right? Every year the government has to pass a bill so that different agencies could be supplied with their monies to do their jobs. They need to keep the lights on. They need to keep water running, warm, cold, all that other stuff. They need to make sure that everything's been maintained properly. All the mechanics that belong to all the different agencies of the government, all this stuff needs to happen. Now, we also know that we are heavy in debt at the same time. So we have to consider that. So we don't want to take out any loans. We don't want to push the debt ceiling too far up. We don't want to, do too much more than what we're already doing. Less is more is how a responsible adult will usually handle debt. Like, that's how we usually do, right? Some people may even lose their jobs. Sorry, that's just what happens. Like, you cannot keep everybody happy. You just can't. I sound like an ass and a dipstick and some other things for even saying that, but there has to be a responsible adult in the room. Now, we also know that obviously conservatives will be extremely upset that this happened while a Democrat is in office, right? And rightfully so, because you're looking at things the way that you should be looking at things. Like right now, we're losing the race economically. We're doing horribly right now. Well, we're not doing horribly capitalism wise, but we're not doing as well as we could be doing. When Trump was in office, we were doing much better than what we're doing right now. And I foolishly voted for Biden, and I'm not apologizing for it again. I've done it on many of my videos. Not about to do it again. But we got some gentlemen about to talk about this.
The bill,
not this guy. I'm talking about Glenn Beck. He's about to talk to these guys right now.
Passed 314 to 117.
Oh my gosh,
wasn't even close.
That is a surprise.
Was not even close.
That is a surprise. But it's not going to pass the Senate. Don't worry about it. No.
Yeah, it's going to pass the Senate. More Democrats supported it than Republicans. It'll pass the Senate.
Here's the part I like. Hello.
By the way, welcome.
Hello,
Glenn Beck to the studio.
I just was walking by in the hallway and getting ready to do my show, and
You're early, aren't you?
No, I'm always
a little early.
No. So here's what
he's early.
I know.
No, I'm not.
He's not here till 6:30. Don't let him kid you.
So anyway, now I forgot what I said. Oh, the nice thing is, though, according to Chip Roy and others, McCarthy did a little extra negotiating to get the help from the Democrats and allowed earmarks for the Democrats.
Oh, that is a good thing.
That's great.
Oh,
isn't
good.
that great? Yeah. So, just a little more help.
Gotta reach across the aisle.
Absolutely. Gotta help them. I mean, a lot of these.
Well, it's a bipartisan bill.
Yeah,
this is the way American government is supposed to work.
Amen, brother.
A little compromise here, a little compromise there. Nobody got exactly what they wanted, but it was good for America.
Good for America.
That's
What's another?
what it was.
$4 to $6 trillion in the next 2 years.
Oh, they made all cuts.
amongst
it's the
friends.
biggest cuts ever.
Right. Amongst
biggest cuts ever. What are you talking about?
Right. And maybe 1%. Maybe there are no cuts. Okay, they're not coming. But the biggest cut I heard was maybe 1%.
Now, are you talking about a cut in the increase in spending?
In the increase.
Okay. There's no
cuts.
Cut.
Right. Okay. So, but just hear me out for a second. 1%. The biggest cut in American history. Now, think about how much we're spending.
Well, number-wise, it's the biggest cut in America.
Right. I know that.
And it's only
but
1%.
think about.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Think about Calvin Coolidge, who cut it 50% and then 50% the next year.
Yeah.
That's no longer the biggest cut. Okay. This is at 1%. 1%. How much money?
Too much.
Somebody asked me from
at some point.
I can't remember, either Sweden or England. Somebody said, "Why don't people care in your country about this?"
Good question.
I said, "Well, they kind of do. Some people do." And he said, "Well, why do you think more people don't care?" And I really couldn't answer that. I thought
I can answer it. The reason why most people don't care is because we're so comfortable. We always talk about white privilege. We always talk about rich privilege. We always talk about just being privileged all overall. We always talk about how people are so oppressed and people are so traumatized by their living situation and by them not having opportunities and all this other stuff. The fact of the matter is, we are far more comfortable than we put on. Most people act like they care. Most people don't. They believe that since the government could just print the money and we're just going to keep it moving anyway. Come on, we've been in debt for how long now? We've been trillions of dollars in debt for how long now? And we still do whatever we want to do. No one's starving. I still get to spend my money and make more money and buy houses and buy cars. I think what they're saying is a lie. It's all made up. It's smoke and mirrors. First of all, don't nobody trust the government. Second of all, everyone's extremely comfortable here in the United States, and they know that the United States is way better than other countries to live in anyway. So they're just comfortable. They're like, nothing's going to happen. People are not going to be afraid until something actually happens. Like when the government closes down, that's when people get afraid. When people start losing their jobs, that's when people get afraid. When banks start shutting down, that's when people get afraid. When huge dealerships of automobiles start shutting down, that's when people get afraid. But when they're driving, when they go to Target, and Target's always full, or they go to Walmart, and Walmart's always full of people with money in their pockets, or they go to the banks, and it's always filled. They go to the malls, and it's always filled. They driving, and they're always in traffic with people with cars and everything. They see that people are still moving here from other countries by the droves. They're still like, yo, we're good, baby. We're straight. And if anything bad happens, it's not going to happen to us. We're just little parts of the whole thing. They're not going to they believe that the people who have everything and the people who run everything are way too greedy to allow anything to mess up their way of life, their way of living. And if they will protect their way of living, then that will also protect us, because I guess the trickle down thing, right? We are spoiled as hell is what I'm saying. And we're very ignorant, and we're ignorant on purpose so that the adults can handle the adult things. And the adults are the government people, the government to take care of it. They'll fix it. They usually do. But if nothing happens, I'm not going to care. Right? That's why people are so cavalier when it comes to people coming over here on the border. People are super cavalier. Man, let them over. Come on, let everyone in. Let everyone in. Why are we keeping people out? Let them in. Let them in. Like, knock down the wall. Don't build no wall. That's racist. Bring them in. Let's be a sanctuary country for them. We'll be fine. We got more than enough land. We got more than enough homes. We'll be fine. We got more than enough food. Like, even our homeless people are eating way better than people who live in Venezuela. We are spoiled as hell, and we're allowing this to ruin everything and everyone. It's going to catch up. It's going to catch up to us. But a lot of us won't allow ourselves to think that. We're not thinking about generations ahead of where we are right now. We're not. We think that our grandchildren are going to be fine. But the way things are going, our families are getting smaller and smaller. The only people that are still growing their families are the immigrants who move here. They're still growing their families. I'm just saying. We might end up being a country where the majority will be the immigrants. Just saying. That's just my 2 pennies.
A couple of things. One, the number is too big.
Yeah,
nobody understands it anymore.
Right.
Okay.
When you're talking trillions every day, it's like,
I mean, when you and I were growing up, trillion, I thought was a made up word.
Yeah.
It was like trillion.
You never even heard it.
Right.
Quadrillion, all of that stuff.
Right.
A billion was barely talked about.
I mean, it's a big deal to be a multimillionaire.
Right. Right. Multimillionaire. Maybe he had $3 million.
Right.
Okay. So the number is too big. Also, I don't think people really understand the idea of their children being in slavery.
No, they don't. No,
they all think that this is just going to go away. I mean, somebody's got a plan. You know what I mean? It's not. We're never going to have to pay it because we can't pay it.
Right.
That's what they think.
Yeah.
That we can live today on tomorrow because tomorrow's never going. We're never going to have to pay for this.
Yeah, I hear that, right? We're spoiled. We're comfortable. We think somebody else got a plan. They'll take care of it. They always do. They always do. You know what else I think might have an issue? And God, I thank God for everything. I thank God for everything, every day, every breath, everything. But sometimes people aimlessly lean on their religion. People aimlessly lean on their beliefs. They do. And they don't put forth any due diligence at all. And that is a problem too, because we have faith that things are going to work out, but faith without works is dead. That's in the Bible. People miss that. We just rather lean on our faith and let everybody live free. Love is love, and let them do what they do. Don't bother them. You just keep on focusing on you. You run your race. No, all of us got to run this race. It's going to take us all before this dynasty. But we don't want this. We don't want this country to fall. But it could. We don't believe it can, because a lot of us don't pay attention to world geography. We don't care. World history. Just saying. Trillion is a huge number. And people think it's so huge that, hey, we can go up another notch. What's after trillion? You don't know? You don't know? Who cares? We'll be fine. We got all the money in the world. We'll be good. Yeah, I ain't. Yeah, I ain't.